I'm Nathan Gonzales with Inside Elections. I'm here with James Kane, behavioral scientist with a specialty in loyalty. In 2016, the presidential race, we saw Republicans nominate someone who was formerly a Democrat. We saw Democrats become enthralled with someone who wasn't even a Democrat in Bernie Sanders. What did that tell you, or should that tell us about how important loyalty is, candidates to be loyal to the party, and even vice versa?
Yeah, I think the misconception that most people have about loyalty is that it's a selfless emotion, that it is some blind devotion that we give to others, or some virtue that we owe something to someone that has done something for us over a period of time. And that's really not what loyalty is at all. Loyalty is a selfish emotion and evolved that way for very specific reasons. In fact, to answer three kind of primary questions. Do you make my life safer? Do you make my life easier? And do you make my life better? And of all the candidates, of all the issues they addressed, of all the things they believed, of all the programs they offered, the only ones that clearly communicated that were Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump. For Bernie Sanders, it was offering health care for people who didn't either have a job or were going to lose a job. For Donald Trump, the safety for his base was really about keeping people out. All the threats that they saw were either immigrants, or they were Muslims, or they were all kinds of different boogeymen that he created to say this is what you should really fear.
So what, if anything, could an anti-Trump Republican or someone who didn't want Donald Trump to become president of the United States, what could they have done to get at that base of support? You cannot attack Donald Trump and expect to win, because all that will happen is like attacking the queen of a hive or a colony, that all you're going to do is get the worker bees or the worker ants protecting them. Right.
And that's what's happened. So any criticism towards him has caused people to say, I'm going to defend him at all costs. What you need to do, and what's always been true of any kind of group that's had this kind of loyal following, is you divide from the inside. It is truly about saying, do you feel comfortable standing next to a white supremacist? Do you feel comfortable standing next to a racist? Do you feel comfortable standing next to someone who believes in these kind of things, which you don't, but you've kind of been part of this movement ignoring all of those things?
And for a candidate who's looking at, I need X amount of votes, the idea of alienating voters in order to get to even a greater cause for them is almost unthinkable.
Yeah, and yet the irony, so there's a different sort of loyalty going on right now, where there's a number of Republicans that probably would never have supported Trump any other time and kind of defies all the things they believe. But if, again, you go back to this, what keeps me safe, what keeps them safe is supporting him. Not just because of his base, but because he's sitting in the White House right now. Again, I think there's an illusion that over time, if you just keep whittling away at Trump or keep exposing certain flaws or certain things, that somehow his base is going to break down. It's never going to break down. It's never going to, because now it's the reputation that's at stake. They've aligned themselves with him. They've apologized for him. They've agreed with things that they normally would not have. How do you back off of that? How do you say I was wrong? Most people don't do that.
And at least we have a big test in the 2018 midterm elections, and the next big test of loyalty. But I look forward to continuing this conversation. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.